Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you're all well. Still, I saw all of you pretty much over the past couple of days, haven't I? Which was nice to see you all. Like I say, some of you say, "Oh, it's been a long time. This has, hasn't it?" And it has. It's been 5 months. We finished technically on Friday the 23rd of March, and that's when we were told that was it. We were closing down for lockdown, and here we are, sort of the back end of August, basically, aren't we? So that's where we are and what we're doing. So great stuff from in terms of you turning up. So thank you all for doing that. Thank you all for being prompt and on time. So that is appreciated. I know that sounds really silly, but it's not, because in the bigger picture it really helped in terms of what I had to do. So I do appreciate it. And some of you said you would be a couple of minutes late, and you weren't actually. You were spot on time. So it was really good from that response. So thank you for that, and thank you all for obviously adhering to the social distancing and everything else that we've been doing. You could see I was taking as many precautions as I could. We all kept our meterage away from each other, didn't we, as well? And that's how we have to do it. So just one of those things. So like I say, thank you for that, and the maturity you all shown when you came in as well, of just getting in and getting it done and going was really good as well. So say thank you to all for doing that. Okay, the main purpose though really of this video is not just to say thank you, but pretty much was to look at the email that I've just sent. So for some of you this doesn't apply whatsoever, and again you will know if it doesn't apply to you or not. In terms of professional discussions, I've probably put out, would be now, this will be the fourth time, if not the fifth, that I've mentioned professional discussions, and I need to really drive the idea home as why we need to do it. Because I've had some questions yesterday, and I don't mind, as I say, answering the same question 30,000 times. It really doesn't bother me. The reason that we have to do those discussions is because we're not going to do any other practical. That's why, because the discussion is supposed to cover the practical work that you've not done. That's the whole idea of it. So that's the purpose, and that's the means, and that's why we do it. The reality of it is, we know we're going to go in September. Now, I did say in a previous couple of videos, there's a 50% chance we would go into it. Well, funnily enough, we are. So it's not a problem. It's not your fault, and it's not mine. It's not the college's or anybody else's. But what it will mean is this: I have to put a deadline date in, because if I don't give you a deadline date for it, I've got to be very careful I don't end up with an exceedingly huge amount of work that I've got to complete while I'm teaching two groups. So I've obviously got to be mindful. Now, this isn't me giving priority to new groups. Before anybody says anything, so is that enough now? Look, he's done. He's off to the new groups and away they go for their year. Not at all. Now, I said I would see people to the end of the course, and I am, and I will. But I don't have every professional discussion document from every person on the course. I don't have every health and safety assessment from everybody on the course, which I don't. There's a good few of you that have done it all, and great, it's sorted, and you know that because you've spoken to me, or you've messaged me, or you've emailed me, and so on and so forth. So the people that know they've done it, they know they've done it, and that's great. So those people will just have to be patient now, which I'm sure they will be, and we'll just await then for further detail from me. Not for me coming in back and saying I need some more work. It won't be any of that. It will be me just saying, oh, I'm doing this now, I'm up to this stage, I'm up to this stage. So I did say I'll keep in contact with you all right to the bitter end, and I will do. So I'll let you know where we are. What happens is then, once we've completed the work, the portfolios are then checked, internally verified, which I normally do for most people in plumbing, but obviously I can't do my own. Once we've done all that, we have to submit a ridiculous amount of documents to BPEC, and then there's simply enough to do. It's just the volume of things we have to do. We have till the 30th of September to submit them, so I will probably not submit them till the 30th of September. That's just how it will probably be. They will then make their decisions then. We have to give them a week or so, to be fair. They have to make their decisions then of whatever we sent in with some of the folders. They won't take all the folders, they'll ask for so many. And whatever we provide, they'll make the decisions and say they agree or disagree. 9 times out of 10, they agree. Okay, so I don't think there's anything to panic about. I won't be submitting them and worrying afterwards. I won't be doing any of that. So once we've done that, then they will release the statement to us to say yes or no, etc., etc., and then they release certificates, and that's basically what happens. So realistically, if you're waiting, you won't get it in September. Okay, so I will tell you now and tell you straight. You will get it probably mid to late October. And that's not me being slow, that's not the college being slow, or you being slow. That's pretty much just how the awarding body are going to work it, and you've got to bear in mind they've got loads across country, they've got a ridiculous amount of places they have to accommodate basically, so that's the reasoning why, so that's what you'll be looking for. So on that point though, if you have a job interview, you have an apprenticeship, or you are applying for another course, you can put down that you're awaiting certification. Obviously speak to me first though, please, before you go ahead and do so. And I'm more than happy to put an email or a statement together saying yes, they are awaiting certification, and we'll go from there. So that isn't a problem. So please don't think it's going to hold you up doing something. It won't hold you up, I promise. It's just that that's what we'll do in the between time. So as I say, you're looking mid to late October. I just wanted to put you in the picture so you are crystal clear on what's happening. Okay. For the people that haven't sent anything in, your deadline now is the 5th of September. And I will not budge from the 5th of September, that is it. But let me tell you why it's the 5th, because I think sometimes you get given a deadline, and then for some reason people think, well, what's it just come with that? Why also come out with that? And there's a couple of reasons why. So me being me, I just wanted to tell you why, because I think if you know why, then you understand, and then you can appreciate the reasoning for it. So the reason it's the 5th of September is, one, it gives us a week's time, and I think, let's be fair, excuse me, let's be fair, we've all had enough time to do it. I think that's the first point I'm going to say. Everyone's had more than ample time. The email was sent out the 4th of July, so it gives you all of July, it gives you all of August, and a little bit of September. So you're not far off. You could argue 2 months or so, aren't you? Pretty much you've had to do that document. So 2 months I think is ample, you know. And if you took a 2-week holiday out of it, you'd still have, you know, the 6 weeks, wouldn't you, anyway, to get it done? So to me, in my mind, that was plenty of time, and I hope you will agree with that and don't think it's too early, because I don't think it is. The other point of it is, after the 5th, what I need to do is put a stop on things, because everybody that submit the work then, I need to finalise everything. We need to get it IV'd, as I've already discussed previously, and then we need to get everything ready for the claims to go in for the 30th. Now you perhaps think, well, from the 5th then to the 30th, that's loads of time. It won't be, because I'll be teaching other classes, and then what I've had to do is have a look at where I can fit work in around those classes to give me the time to be able to do it, and it is quite tight. Okay, it's manageable. I'm not saying it's unmanageable. It's not, because I've had a meeting about it this afternoon, but that's the reasoning why, because I need the time physically to be able to do that work to get it sorted. So that's the reasoning why, for those two reasons. Okay, if you try and submit work after the 5th of September, I will not accept it. And it sounds really harsh to say. I don't like saying it, and it's not something that, you know, any of us want to have to say. But if you do submit it late, unless there's a superbly brilliant reason as to why, you know, I won't be accepting, I'm afraid to say, because after the 5th I just need to solely concentrate on everything that we've got completed, and away we go. So you have up to the 5th. I will be doing some exam bookings for people that have asked anyway, and that's the people who've done the documents. Some have a few outstanding exams to do, etc. But I need those documents, and if I don't have those documents, then there is no point in me working flat out, doing oral questions, sorting out people's portfolios, excuse me, on people that haven't sent me the work. And if you haven't sent me the work, then why would I spend my time working on that when I could be working on somebody else's who's done everything? I think it's called fairness, isn't it? And that's what it is. So I really wanted you to understand that. You people have got time. You've got just over a week. So it's not as if I'm saying I need it tomorrow at 5 p.m. You know, I've took it as far as I can. And the reason I didn't say anything last week, to be fair, one, I was on annual leave, but two, I wanted to have a conversation with a few people that came in just to find out where we were with things. And, you know, some have asked me to send it again, and that's, you know, one of those. You know, I shrug my shoulders because I don't think there's much else I can do apart from smile, etc. from that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's one of those things. But you know, in all seriousness, if you've not sent it in, then you've got to do it. 5th September, that's it. Like I say, unless you have a superb reason, then obviously I won't accept it. You know, so it's on a case by case basis. You know, so please make sure it's done. And like I say, if you've come so far and not going to finish it, then I just to me, I don't understand that. You know, it's personal preference at the end of the day, isn't it? But I just don't see the point in it. And the other thing that I always think of as well, everybody came in to do the practical, and the bit I didn't get about it, if you weren't bothered, you wouldn't have come in. So obviously people are bothered because you came in and made the effort and done exactly what I asked. So, you know, I think the willingness may be there, but I don't know whether it sounds horrible to say, the work ethic's there to get it done. And whilst it's been a horrendous time, and it has, and it's tested us all, hasn't it? I think in some degree or another it's tested us in terms of Are we able to work from home successfully? Can we prioritise things without having somebody stand over us telling us what to do? And I think it's going to, to be fair, it's going to happen a little bit more now than it has been before. So, at the end of the day, I don't think this is going to go away in terms of maybe sometimes, you might be enrolled to a course next week for argument's sake, and they might be doing a lot of stuff online for the first 6 weeks. I know that's what I'll be looking at doing. So you've got to have that motivation and that desire and that want to do it, and also you've got to discipline yourself to actually do the stuff when you're at home. Rather than just I think I'll have a half an hour watching the telly, then I'll go back to it. You have got to almost go in an area and discipline yourself and work, and that's basically how it is. So yeah, that's where we are. So 5th of September. Anything that comes in after that, I'm very, very sorry to say I will not be touching it. Okay. It will be a huge shame if you don't do it, but it's a personal preference at the end of the day. And if I'm going to be honest, if you don't want to do it, just pop me an email or a text or something to say you're not going to bother, and then that's it. And there's no hardship there whatsoever from me. There's no ill feeling about it. You guys really, to be fair to you, have worked really well for me this year, and I do think if we hadn't had a lockdown, we'd have been flying through it and hopefully done by sort of June with the majority of you, and the rest of you would have been only a couple of weeks in July. So we were on the right track, and that because we only had 3 exams left by March, which is pretty good going really. But it's obviously been excuse me, quite a bit of a push to get that done, one remotely, and then to get you in to do the exams. So it's one of those things. That's why I didn't put a deadline on the exams, because I didn't think that would be fair. The written work that you can do, and you have your own time to do it, I think that's why the deadline's there, because at the end of the day you're in control of that and I'm not. So it's really down to you to do it, and if you want to do it, now's the time. If you submitted it, I say thank you very much and job done, and the people that know they've done everything, they've had the conversations with me, so it's not a problem. Okay, so that's where we are. In terms of videos for you guys, really, I suppose in terms of finishing your courses, this is the last one from there on in. I'll be doing more, obviously, because I've got other new groups to do, and I think it's probably a useful tool to carry on with. But in terms of you guys currently with me, I'm just coming to the end now. This will be your last one in terms of where we are. I won't be obviously discussing this one again. And if you really want to, you can still watch me after you've left the course. If your heart desires so much, you must see what I'm doing, I'll still be on here, I'm pretty sure. Okay, unless I win the lottery, and obviously then everything will just go by the by, and I'll be driving around in Aston Martin and move miles away. Yeah, alright, Mark, you don't play the National Lottery, so it's highly unlikely. But yeah, in all seriousness now, 5th of September though is where we are. If you don't get in by then, I'm sorry, there's no certification for you, and it will go down sadly as a fail for you. So, it's entirely up to you. And let's, fingers crossed, I hope my emails get bombarded next week. Sounds really strange, doesn't it? It's more work for me, but for you, I hope you genuinely want to do it. And we can get there. And like I say, if you don't and your heart's not in it, and you've moved on to other things, if you can let me know, that would be great. And like I say, there's no ill feeling with me. It's just one of them things, isn't it? At the end of the day, and then we go from there. The other thing I was just going to mention though, before sort of I finish off, a lot of you are now moving on to other courses, which is good to see. Nothing wrong with that, because things move on, don't they? Which is good. Some of you applying for jobs and things like that. But what I would say is, if you want me as a reference, I don't mind you putting me as a reference, but could you please just let me know? It sounds really silly to say, but I did have a phone call from somebody a couple of days ago, I won't mention what company it is, etc., etc., or who it was, because that's not right. But I did get a phone call saying, in regards to your reference, I was like, reference for what? And they said, reference for such and such. I said, sorry, I know that person, but I didn't realise I was a reference. So it didn't sound very good, and the person said, would you mind doing it? I said, no, I don't mind doing it. Yes, please don't put me in that situation. If you ask me, 9 times out of 10 I'll say, yeah, of course I can, no problem. And I usually, I'm well aware of who might ring me. But if you don't tell me, I don't know. And then that person probably got the reaction. I was like, this is a bit strange, this person doesn't know he's a referee. Not really, no. So if you can tell me, that would be good. Don't mind doing references, but I won't be doing long references or anything like that. It'll be reference on demand, which therefore means if you put me down as a reference, I will obviously answer the reference as a contact, but I won't be writing a statement for you, so I won't be doing anything like that. I don't have, sounds horrible, I don't have the time for it, okay? So, that's where we are, 5th September. don't get it in before, unfortunately that's it. If you've got it in before that, great, well done. And as I said to the rest of you who have already got the stuff in as well, you know what I said about October now, roughly, for certificates, and I'll be keeping up to date with you all as much as I can. It'll probably be a weekly email, it will not be a daily thing because I don't have the time to do the daily things. And I will be obviously quite busy going back into college, which is always good fun, isn't it, when you get back in and you start the year all over again. It's going to be a tricky year, must admit. I don't think it'll run straight forward. I don't think we've got that for a couple of years now, to be fair. So it's going to be testing times yet again, but it's nothing that we haven't had a go at before, to be honest with you. So okay, if I don't see some of you at all, and some of you watch the video and saying that's it, I wish you all the best. Hope you all get the careers that you want. I hope as well, mainly, this is the main thing, I hope everybody's still safe and everybody's still okay. This isn't a COVID cough, this is me. I've been on the phone all afternoon doing interviews, so that's why my throat's a bit dry. So I do hope, like I say, wish you all the best. Hope your families and everyone else are okay. Wish them all the best as well. And I will say, like I say, from working with you guys, it's been a pleasure. Not always, let's be fair, let's be reasonable. Some days it's been a bit difficult and a bit trying, shall we say. But I would say sort of majority of the time it's been good, and I hope you've enjoyed what we've done. Like I say, I think we would have been a lot better off if we had no lockdown. Would have things have been easier, but the whole world's at it, so what can we do? And I hope you've got everything you wanted out of the course. Some of you said thank you already, so I do appreciate that. It does mean a lot, because at the end of the year when you're trying to get things finished, and just sounds silly, a simple thank you to me means quite a lot to me, because I spend 9 months of the year trying to get stuff done with you, and someone just says, oh, thank you for everything, is quite nice. And that's not me to say, come on and say thank you everybody, it's nothing to do with that whatsoever. It's just nice that people sometimes can appreciate what you do, which is fair play to you. But like I say, if I don't see you again, wish you all the best, and hope everything works out well in the future for you, and let's all hope we can get back to more normality in this, and this thing, this horrible virus gets some kind of cure in the immediate future, and people can just slowly get back to that normality. Because as I say, it's not been easy for anybody, with regards to work life and general other things as well as it. Okay, so wish you all the best. I say I'll still be in contact anyway, not a problem. But this will be the last video in terms of your updates. So please make sure, like I say, if you've not done it, get it in before the 5th, please. Okay. I can throw a bit more work into it in terms of resources and things, but the 5th is the deadline, and if you send it after that, I'm really, really sorry. Okay, but I wanted to put a video out just to let you know and make sure you are aware. Okay, right, take care of yourselves. Again, still keep safe. Okay, and like I say, I'll speak to you all at some point, and if I don't, all the best. Okay, cheers.